Hey guys, today I want to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, and that is music. If you can't tell, these little rant style videos, I want to make them a common occurrence on the channel. I plan on editing them, throwing music in the background, and if you look anywhere, you tend to find music there because music is like a glue, holds things together, right? And the reason I say that is because music is made from instruments ranging from the human voice, instruments ranging from percussion, woodwinds, brass, etc. And music has been with humans for so long. It's evolved, it's changed, it's kind of grown with us. You show someone from the 60s underground rap, and as they say, their ear isn't trained for that, right? So not only is music weirdly vexing and vulnerable in a way, is it vulnerable, flexible in a way to where it can be beautiful to a numerous amount of people. There are numerous types of music just for the thousands and millions of types of people that there are on this planet. So today I want to talk about the power of music. Like I said, it's the glue. It's like the mayonnaise on a sandwich. If you don't like mayonnaise, it's like mustard. You know, it's like a condiment. You put it on things because it makes them better. But what's unique about music and what talks about how strong it is the fact that music stands alone as well. I mean, I know I'm not the only one who, if you're doing a mundane task and you have nobody to talk to, sometimes you just throw your headphones in and listen to music while you walk around. Wherever you're going, the music is going to make you feel better and it's going to be like a good transition. It's the closest thing we have to teleporting from point A to point B. You kind of take your brain or mind, brain sounds too subjective. You take your mind off of the little things you're doing, like with every step, the controlling of every muscle, etc. And instead, you get to scan the environment because I'm not one of those people that like listens to music and like everything else becomes obsolete. When I'm listening to music, I become kind of hyper focused because like I'm losing my hearing almost. So you get to scan the environment with like your own custom tone. If you're listening to edgy music, you might get like a tense, suspenseful vibe. If you're listening to chill, mellow music, you might get like a calm little, oh yeah, this right here and that's over there. It's like, it's beautiful. And truly, even if you're like greatly upset, if you turn on your favorite song, you get cheered up pretty quickly. The interesting thing about sound is it goes through our ears and travels to our brain for us to recognize it. And we don't know everything about the brain, but something that is certain about the brain is the placebo effect exists. And a lot of times, if you believe something's helping, it can help. For example, studies show if you smile, you tend to feel better. Why? I couldn't tell you. I'm not the scientist that made the study. However, you associate smiling with being happy. Your brain understands that. Music, you associate with it being a good hobby and something that uplifts you. You know, whether the type of music you listen to is upbeat or not, you like that song. You have positive emotions tied to this song. So no matter what mood you're feeling, you play that song, it's a lot easier to handle that situation. The waves travel straight to your brain, and then the brain sends signals to the body that you're home. You know, music is mystical in its ways, so to speak, but the key to it is it's powerful. It's consumed on its own, but the most common way we consume music is as a condiment. Because you look anywhere into any medium, you're watching an anime, there's music in your anime. You're watching a cartoon, there's music in your cartoons. You're playing the game, there's music in your games. You're watching a movie, there's music in the movies. You're watching a commercial, there's music in the commercial. Why? Because music has that hold over us. I challenge you to next, when you're doing anything, to sit back and try to count out the amount of times that music is involved. This ranges from a melody to a beat to full-on lyrics, but music is everywhere. Music is different from noise. Noise in our mind is something that is dissonant, but dissonant sounds can be used to create music. Music, by definition, is a pattern or series of sounds or something that is auditory, right? And it has a pattern or rhythm to it. And you, as a person, gravitate towards that rhythm. When lyrics are laid on top of it, it makes it more catchy. But lyrics aside, sometimes you listen to a song and the beat's just fire, and the lyrics have to go with the beat. They have to have a rhythm to themselves. So for simplicity's sake, let's consider music this rhythmic masterpiece that distinguishes itself from noise purely based on the fact that it is a pattern. Well, as humans, we know psychologically we love patterns. Patterns lead to good things happening. Every time I walk in, I notice that where I hang my coat slightly leans. You hang your coat, the thing falls, you catch it before it falls. You're making something, you're not paying attention, your elbow hits something on the counter, that thing starts falling, you catch it, and you feel like you're Spider-Man. You feel like you knew it was going to fall. That's pattern recognition. Even amongst people, certain traits or things that you've seen help you recognize patterns. If I see someone who looks like a kidnapper, for example, I'm kind of going to stay away from that guy. This pattern recognition can be beneficial, but it can also be harmful. It's also why racism, classism, and things like that exist, because as humans, our brain likes making things simple for us. So we like putting everything into categories where categories don't exist, right? We lose the ability to see something as an individual, and we see it as a whole. We can still see it as an individual, technically speaking, but when you notice it, you go, oh, it's this thing, right? Like I see my microphone. I'm not going, oh, this is a Blue Yeti mic. I'm going, oh, this is a microphone. It's the first thing your brain registers, because, oh, it's shaped like a microphone. It's picking up the audio to give you guys this video. It has to be a microphone. But for all I know, it might have been a camera, the unique design. But to get back on topic, that pattern recognition, I think, is what makes music so appealing, because it allows us to have that bias, so to speak, without it feeling wrong. There's no judgment, because you yourself are kind of judging the music, and you wouldn't listen to it if you didn't enjoy it. So it becomes less of judging and more of going with this flow. It takes your mind, not your entire mind, but the small part of your mind that you enjoy having focused on other things, and it leads it. It leads it with the beat. It's the same reason, once you know the melody of a song, you can hum the melody, and it sounds almost as if you're saying the lyrics, because the lyrics follow that pattern, right? So in essence, music is this thing that is able to set a tone. A scene that's dark with tense, suspenseful music could be a scene for a horror film. But a scene that is dark, kind of gloomy, with suspenseful but action, running, upbeat type music could be a scene from the Batman. Because there's this gloomy undertone, yet still this is amongst the action genre. You can detect that in the music. You play a video game with no background music, no battleground music, no anything. How long do you think you keep playing that game? It's it brings to question how useful or how much can we enjoy the things that we enjoy without music. Now, I play on PC and I mainly use my headset when I'm playing with my guys. So a lot of my games, I've been playing a lot of Roblox recently. I don't play with sound, so I know I don't need sound. But when I think about it, I'm watching like a YouTube video in the background, or I have Spotify on in the background. How often do we sit in silence? Silence is boredom, because throughout our pattern recognition's progression, when there's silence, there's nothing to predict. Silence is like an empty void. It's going to continue to be silence until something happens, and then the silence will resume. It is the absence of a pattern for us to recognize. In essence, it's as if you trained to do something. This is your purpose. You enjoy doing this thing, but there's times when this thing doesn't happen. And this thing denounces the absence of that thing you enjoy. So, say, I don't know, sleep. You can only sleep when the sun's at a certain angle. Very niche, hypothetical, random situation. You can only sleep when the sun's at a certain angle. When the sun is past that angle, if you say you're awake, you are unable to sleep. So in your mind, whenever you see the sun at an angle that is not the angle that you can go to sleep guaranteed 100% every time at, it's going to feel weird. It's like you're always waiting for the thing to resume. As humans, we go insane in silence. Even in silence, we have our own thoughts. Why do our thoughts exist if we can do things on autopilot? It's to keep us from going insane, because there's nothing to recognize. It is like putting something shaped like a CD in something meant to scan and read CDs. Nothing happens. It's just there, ominously sitting there. And sometimes if it's like not perfectly shaped, you get like this scraping sound, like this, and it's like annoying. It's eerie. Why is this just here? In horror films, I seen the FNAF movie. I heard people thought it was bad. I think it was okay. It was cool. But the reason I was able to predict so many of the jump scares of that movie is because every time the formula is to make it very quiet, to slow down the scene, to pull you in, and then the music, and it goes quiet again. Jump scare. That silence, it's like, it leads to something, but in itself, when not combined with anything else, it's like eternal. It's eerie. It's off-putting almost. And as humans, like I said, I've seen plenty of videos of it. You throw somebody in a room, it's like soundproof. I've seen a video a long time ago, actually. It was actually Elite Pulls. You start to go insane. I say all that to say, we need noise. We need sound in our lives. We've intertwined sound everywhere. We are designed to make sound via our vocal cords, and our ears are designed to pick up sound. If we didn't need sound, we wouldn't have ears and we wouldn't have vocal cords. We need sound to communicate, but besides that, sounds also have sounds are primarily used to communicate. I was gonna say they have other uses, but truly it's meant to communicate, and that in of itself is meant to keep us not alone. Because if you can't communicate, you're just left feeling alone. Billions of studies show being alone kind of leaves you depressed, for prolonged periods of time. No one person can be completely sane and be alone for let's say billions of years. That is why immortality is a crap superpower, right? So in definition, we desire sound, but we don't desire noise. Something that is off-putting, is random. You hear a random sound, you jump. It's scary. It triggers a primitive part of our brain that screams danger. But music is the harnessing of like reclaiming that primal fear, and instead of playing off our fear like suspenseful things, it instead takes our need for pattern recognition and pleases it in a way. So by definition, music is meant to be enjoyed. Music is meant to be heard. It's meant to lighten the mood. It can be meant to sometimes make things more suspenseful. It can be meant to make things more emotional. Music conveys human emotion. Music conveys something, because all sound conveys something. But music, by definition, has been designed to harness our desire for pattern recognition, the desire to harness our desire for communication. So I wanted to just get that little rant off and kind of like leave this thought in your brain, plant this seed, and have you think more about the music you listen to. Not, not some uber lyrical spiritual, oh, why do you enjoy it? Like, if it sounds good, it sounds good. I mean, that's how I listen to music. But to really have you appreciate for a second the power of music. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Do me a favor and comment down below your favorite song. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next. Peace.